What? Make sure I'm in focus here. There we go. That doesn't work much better. There we go. What is up, everybody? I'm going to do a quick review of the movie The Upside, starring Bryan Cranston, Kevin Hart, and Nicole Kidman. It is a English remake of a French movie, which I actually watched before I went and saw this. I watched it literally right before I went and saw this. It pretty much is like it's there's some slight differences, but it starts off exactly the same as the French version. There's lots of stuff that it's pretty much identical to the French version. One big change I would say is the fact that most people probably haven't seen the original. I guess most people I've seen commenting on them like, oh, it's the other one's much better, whatever. So I'm like, I got to check this out, the original, just to kind of get get an idea, whatever. And I don't know if it was a good idea to see it before I saw this, because it definitely, I definitely have to agree with the people who said that the French version is better, even though I had to read the whole fucking movie because of subtitles. The French version I honestly think was better. And it was funnier too. I actually laughed more to the French version than I really did. I don't really know if I might have went maybe, but there were some in the French version that I just kind of busted out laughing because there were some funny moments. So there was pros and cons to seeing the French version before this one. Even if I had watched it after I'd seen this one, the English version. I don't know. One scene that I thought was kind of funny is like when I thought of Kevin Hart trying to pick up Bryan Cranston. I don't know the size difference, but I'm sure there's probably a considerate height difference to Kevin Hart versus Bryan Cranston, or Bryan Cranston versus Kevin Hart. But you kind of think, oh, this has got Kevin Hart, and it's probably going to be a funny movie. It had its moments, but it wasn't your typical Kevin Hart movie. It's not like, oh shit, this is so funny. But it was good for what it was. But yeah, though I was gonna say I don't want to give too much away. But like in the French version, he was writing these letters to this, I can't remember what her name was now. But in the Upside, the little girl's name was Lily. And that was where the very end of the movie was the biggest difference, because the lady he's writing letters to, the original movie ends with him with Phillip and Philippe, where that was they're the same basically. Phillip and Philippe was the name differences there, but the guy in the French version was named Dries, and Kevin Hart was named Dell. So that was a little bit of a change there, but yeah, the biggest change was the girl that he was writing the letters to. He was just I forgot what the hell the relationship was. Basically, they don't speak at all. They just write letters. They eventually call each other, whatever. They're gonna meet up. The French version, he goes to see her, but kind of chickens out and leaves. Then later they meet up for dinner or whatever, lunch, brunch, whatever they want to call it. And the movie ends. kind of just how this one ends, but instead, in the upside, she is, you know, she knew that he was in a wheelchair, but didn't I don't know, didn't think much more of it. Just kind of, like she said her therapist was like, you know, was more wanting her to do it than she really wanted to, or something or other. So that was the biggest change there, because so I don't know exactly what happened after, like in the first one, or in the original. You know, it ends that they're at dinner and they're pretty much happy. This one, way totally different, and it didn't end there, because it was like, that was like probably maybe the last 20 minutes of the movie. But the end of the movie, Yvonne, who was his, I don't know, I wouldn't say necessarily caretaker, because that's what Kevin Hart's character was, but she kind of was the one who did the hiring of him. It ended with, and that was who Nicole Kidman was playing, because in the original there was literally no attraction at all. But in this one, there was a slight, a little bit of attraction, but it wasn't apparent at first. But at the end of the movie, they go paragliding or parasailing or whatever, hang gliding, and after that, Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston, they go to this restaurant, or they go to a hotel, and they go to this restaurant. And he's like, "Oh, I got something else for you," and he goes and gets Yvonne, and then they sit down, and then they strike up a conversation, because she had actually quit, which did not happen in the original. But she quit because he just was like, he basically almost didn't really want to live anymore. Which is another thing about this one that I definitely don't recall in the other one, where he's like, Bryan Cranston's character was, he did not want to be resuscitated. He was DNR, did not want to be resuscitated. He basically, if he died, he died. He didn't really care. So that was one difference about this one versus the original, that he's like, he really, you know, he had a, you know, a reason to live. Or I guess he didn't really have a reason to live, but because his wife had died as well. Yeah. So there was two big changes in that part, the Yvonne and the Lily, at least in the upside. I cannot remember what the other one was, but it basically ended the same, but the person who was at the table with Phillip was different. So, but other than that, it started the same. Pretty much, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to bet you $100 that I can get away from the cops." He didn't say, "Oh, $200 for the escort," but there was basically an escort. Everything was the same there. It was pretty much the same as the original, except for those two big things that I mentioned with Yvonne and Lily. So, and they were both called Yvonne in both movies. Phillip, same thing there. Just the caretaker guy was different names, and I don't remember what the girl's name was that he was writing letters to. So, but other than that, I definitely have to say that the original movie. I don't even think I remember to say. I didn't even say what the movie was called. Intouchables was the name of the original movie. So Intouchables was the original, and Upside was the new one. But I definitely have to agree that with a lot of other people, that the Intouchables was the better movie. But it wasn't in English, so it's like they basically just took the movie, tweaked it a bit for English audiences. Not necessarily for English audiences, but tweaked it by speaking English instead of French. And that those two things there at the very end with the like I mentioned, that I'm not gonna say it again, but those were the two big changes there. So, and I don't know if, honestly, I don't think they were for the better. So like I said, I definitely have to agree that the original movie, The Intouchables, or just, I think it's just Intouchables, was the better movie. If you can see the original movie, definitely check it out. Because I'm gonna think most people will probably agree that Intouchables was the better version of the movie. I'm gonna give it. If I went in fresh, I would probably give it a 3. I'm gonna still give it a 3 out of 5. If I went in fresh, I'd still give it a 3 out of 5. But I always kind of wish I maybe would have went in fresh, not have seen the original movie, because it probably would have resonated. Well, not necessarily resonated, but I wouldn't be comparing it to the other. And that's what happens a lot with movies that are remakes or whatever. You're comparing it to the original movie, kind of like with Halloween. People, like, oh, okay, I gotta associate it with the original movie. You're like doing that more with like the Rob Zombie and the original, which is way totally fucking different movies. Because Rob Zombie's version of Halloween is is way different than John Carpenter's version of it. But yeah, it's I give it a 3 out of 5. I would say not really worth checking out in the theater. If you have Showtime, it'll be on Showtime probably about a year from now, January of next year, I'm guessing. It seems like it takes a little while longer for them to get movies on there versus like HBO. HBO is like generally 8 months for a Warner Brothers movie or a Fox movie to show on HBO. Like, say Rampage came out in April, they just debuted that, they just started showing that in December, so that basically 8 months. Or Super Troopers came out in April, they're showing that now. So anyways, I'm rambling on about other shit that doesn't really matter. So anyways, 3 out of 5 for The Upside. It's good, not as good as the original. If you can see the original, check it out. One thing I hate about the original was that I had to read the whole fucking movie, but even the fact that I had to read the movie, the original was still the better version. So check them both out. I think most people will agree. Comment down below with what you think if you've seen both movies, what you think. But I think most people are going to agree that the original movie, the original Upside or Intouchables, was the better version of the movie. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more reviews, more other reviews from me, and like, comment, subscribe, and share if you want to.